Guys, what's going on? Just wanted to give you just a really quick summary of what went on at the Edmonton Expo today. It's the Saturday, my first day of going. Would have been the second had it not been for Rose McGowan canceling again. Shit. Anyway, pardon me. Still had lots of fun. It was cool, like it always is, but this year, for some strange reason, it was like crazy busy. Like, it's always busy on Saturdays. Saturdays are always pretty nutty, but it was like a whole different level of what the right? Like, I got there probably about 11:45, you know, and there wasn't a parking spot to be had. Like, normally I go in and I go through the first lot and the second lot. Then you get into all the extension parking, and I usually have to go way to the back of that and have to walk like a long way back up, you know. Today I pretty much went about as far as you could go, and I went past like the baseball diamonds that are like further out there, and then I went like a couple of lots past that, where I was probably, I'd say, less than 50 feet from the street and Concordia University. Like, it was really far away. So that was a little crazy. Everything was sort of putting me behind a little bit in getting in there, because my goal was to get over to this red carpet area so I could be a part of the, you know, the free pictures for your cosplay. Like, right, they'll take shots and they might use some of them on their site. Cool, that's really what I was looking for. But by the time I got in there, it was so far after noon, and you know, I had to pick up my pass, and I finally get it. And you know how it goes after that is you go into the next little room and you have to pull out your phone and you got to enter, you know, the web address and fill out all the information and of course your card info, and activate your card. And it takes a while, and it's a huge pain if you're in a big cosplay, because you're putting all of your gear down, you know, or what you can put down. And my ceiling fan I could not put down very easily. Like, when the electronics are hooked up in the back, you can't like stand it on its back, which was really the only way I could stand it before. So that was a bit of a problem. So I sort of had to balance it on my leg and squat down and like just kill my knees and stuff. So that was a blast. But did all that. Then we finally got inside, you know, and it was just wall to wall people. It was just crazy, right? Again, carrying around the fan was a challenge. Like, it's big, right? You know, I have it sort of tilted a little bit so I can sort of cut through the crowd. I thought about turning it on and just walking, you know, like, clear a path. But that'd be a little crazy. And I only turned it on a few times when there was even a bit of a crowd around. And, you know, you're way too likely to hit somebody. Even though it's moving so slowly, it's not going to do anything. Whatever. Anyway, it was hard to get around in there, so that wasn't so fun. Plus, I had the double-sided axe with me, and there really wasn't any place to carry it. So what I had done was I basically hooked one side of the axe, like in my coat, in the sleeve, you know, like in here. So you kind of hook it in there, and it would just hang down, and it worked all right. You didn't really see it, but, you know, it was crowded, it was hot and stuff, so that was always a challenge. And yeah, like, also getting in there, I should say, like, you had to pay for your parking sort of like that too. So you go way out where I parked, like so far, and I had to walk, you know, like a mile back, and they have QR codes that you basically open a link and you download an app or whatever, and you enter all your information, and you got to pull out your credit card. So here's me again, squatting on the ground outside with all my gear on, and I'm trying to reach into my opposite side pocket where my wallet is, because my left hand is so full of stuff. I couldn't switch. So it was just a big pain in the ass. I had to get up my credit card, and then I'm trying to read it, and, you know, pop in all these numbers in this small spot. It's a huge hassle, like, going through that process with not just parking, but, you know, the pass inside and stuff. It takes a long time. I really wish they had a better way of doing it, or allowed you to somehow do all that from home, you know, or ahead of time, so that when you get there, it's just a matter of, you know, punching your number and boom, go. But it's never that easy, so that was a little annoying. Yeah, but it was surprisingly packed for what I would consider a fairly weaker lineup. I mean, there was some good names there, don't get me wrong, but we had way more names cancel that were pretty big, that I think really affected it greatly, and didn't affect the crowds at all. So yeah, it was utterly packed. But it was cool when I first got in there too, just as I was going over to prop check, some, you know, 20-something girl came up to me and was like, that cosplay is so amazing. Like, that is awesome. And I was just like, oh, cool. Like, I'm glad you actually know that, you know, thank you very much, right? And I get the props checked, and as I'm walking through, I hear another guy who's with a buddy of his, and he's like, that looks awesome, man. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And he's like, I just watched that movie. He's like, it's so good. And I was just like, wow, I was not expecting anyone to really know what character I was for the most part, and was going to be happy if just anybody did. So walking in there, I was already going, right on, okay, this is going to be good. I mean, even if nobody else really recognizes it, somebody did, so there you go, you know. So walked around for quite a while, and nobody really said anything else. So there wasn't a lot of other people recognizing. There was a few people that you kind of knew, they knew what it was, because, you know, they'd look right at you and they'd go, nice, you know, and I'd be like, okay, you know the movie. But no conversations, no pictures, no nothing like that. So that was a little strange too, because like every time I've gone, I've always been asked for a picture at one point or another, and nobody did with this. Although it did look really creepy and disturbing, and if people don't necessarily know what it is, that might keep them from wanting to take a picture as well. So I don't know. And there was another time where we were in a hallway, really busy hall, and standing there for a few minutes, we were just talking on the side, and there was a guy standing there, and you could tell he was looking, and he was trying to place it. And he's like, oh, it looks cool. He's like, that's from The Purge, right? And I thought about it for a second, and I thought, I could see where you might think that, you know? Like, there's a few masks here and there in The Purge that look a little bit like that, I guess you could say. So I instantly forgave him and answered, you know, inside 2 seconds, and said, no, it's actually from a movie called The First Power. And he's like, The First Power? I said, yeah, it's like a 1990, Lou Diamond Phillips is in it. And he's like, oh, really? And he pulls out his phone and he's like typing it all in. And he's like, I'm gonna check that out. And I was like, good, yeah, you should. It's a fun one for sure. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Other than that, you know, a few nods, a few smiles, and there were a few younger guys that were like volunteers or working there, and like they were looking at me like, that looks really cool, and you could tell they had no idea where it was from or anything, but they thought it looked cool. So it was neat, and I was glad there was a few people there that actually knew what it was. I was a little disappointed I didn't get much for pictures. Had my buddy I was with took a few for me with the backdrops behind me, right where it basically said cosplay red carpet meetup and stuff, but I never did see the red carpet. And the last couple of years, the red carpet's been in the same spot, and this year, it was not there. It just wasn't there. So we walked the entire length, looked for it everywhere, got to the far side, and I saw it said cosplay red carpet meetups and stuff, and I'm like, weird, and there's no red carpet. So we just took a few pictures on the backdrop, and that was pretty much it. It was, you know, it's challenging making your way through the crowds with, you know, a giant ceiling fan and an axe that I'm holding. We thought it was time to get out of there, I guess, for now, because we didn't think anything else would really be going on. And I noticed on Instagram, on the Edmonton Expo page there, they actually have shots of people on a red carpet with the backdrop, and I thought, where was that? And then I started thinking, well, maybe it was in that same area I was in where the backdrops were, but perhaps it was in that long hallway that went, you know, the opposite way, like went east-west versus north-south, like the main hallway. So maybe there was just so many people around there, I couldn't really see for sure, and that's the only thing I can think of in my head where it may have been. But because I didn't see it where it said red carpet and it wasn't there, I thought, okay, well, they don't have the red carpet, they just call it that. No, they have it, I didn't see it, and a bit of a bummer. So I was hoping to get some of those pictures on the red carpet. So the fact that I didn't, it's a little disappointing because that was a fair amount of work, but I did get some shots at least while I was there with my buddy, like I said. So I'll definitely be showing you guys that. And I'm still on the fence about tomorrow. I'm feeling like I kind of want to go down on Sunday with a simpler cosplay where I'm not holding a bunch of props and I can get through people a little easier and wear something maybe a little bit more popular, like my Scream 6 Ghostface outfit. Like, I still haven't worn that to any expo since I've had everything complete. Hey guys, what's up? All right, I'm back. I'll just cut right to the chase. I never did end up going back to the expo. I was on the fence about going there, maybe doing some Ghostface cosplay. And part of me is regretting it a bit, but I was just really tired. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I would have been going by myself again. And I went by myself doing the H40 last year, and I really couldn't get any pictures. I do have a selfie stick I could take some with, I suppose, but it's not really so much fun when you don't have anybody to go with. You know, and you want to take photos and stuff, but I just wasn't motivated enough to do it, and I didn't want to go down there and pay for parking again, and all that stuff. If I was just going, you know, alone by myself for an hour or two tops, right? So yeah, so never did go back. So I really don't have a lot of great pictures this year. Like I said, I didn't get any taken with anybody with the First Power outfit. Nobody asked. I'm sure there were some that may have wanted to, but didn't, you know, like the ones that recognized it and were like, oh, that's cool, you know. But yeah, ultimately not a whole lot to show. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the expo. I did get an email that said, let us know what you think for some passes for next year kind of thing, right? So I'm assuming it's some kind of survey. So I will definitely be filling that out. Not because I'm looking for free tickets, but because they really need to make some improvements across the board at the Edmonton Expo. You know, they could learn a lot from Calgary. I don't know exactly what it is they're doing, other than the location. Calgary is so much closer to all these beautiful, you know, places, and Edmonton is further. It would be a much longer drive or something like that. Whereas Calgary, you know, you could head an hour-ish out of town, and it's gorgeous. Plus they have the mountains right there too, you know. So now, as for the next videos and stuff, I do have a pickup from Cavity Colors that is here, that's been sitting here for a bit. I'd like to get into, and there's some more things that are on the way coming in the not too distant future as well. Plus we're almost in October. It's the big month, you know. I'd love to talk about you know, some of our favorite movies to watch this time of year and stuff, and just get into it with folks. So if I have any time, I'll certainly try to do some of that stuff. But yeah, that is pretty much it for now. So that is kind of a lackluster video for the Edmonton Expo this year. But you know, hopefully next year it'll go a little bit better. I don't think I'm going to buy a 3-day pass again, because I'm doubting I'll go all 3 days unless I can get somebody to commit and I have a real plan worked out. Because yeah, it's a lot of work. It would be great maybe having a booth there or something, and then you can go someplace to actually change on the site, so you can take it off or on or whatever, or you can put some of your props where your booth is or something. That'd be great to do something like that. It would be much easier. So that might even be something worth looking into. But so lastly, I was going to mention the Myers of the Year thing I was talking about. Something really weird happened with that. So I mentioned to you guys that I'm in the competition like every year, right? I was out first round, first year, second round, second year. And this year I didn't really have any fresh shots of of anything I wanted that I thought was good enough to enter. You know, there really wasn't much. Like the 78 outfit I had on at Halloween, there could have been a few there. Maybe I could have dug up, but even that was so rushed because I literally received that mask on Halloween. It was just a fluke thing, so I threw it together real fast, and it's really not refined. So I just haven't had any Myers pictures for a while, so I used that particular one I showed you before where I was right in front of my display just because the lighting looked really cool on it, but it was just a tester when I was putting on the outfit. Like, I mean, it's even cropped kind of across the head, so it's not even a great crop. So I knew I didn't have the greatest chances, but I thought it would be fun to, you know, to be in the contest and all the rest of it. Well, and then I got paired up against Eddie, which I told you, he's, you know, he's put together a really good cosplay, you know. And I remember that as soon as I saw it, I was just like, wow, that looks good. That looks really good. And I was like, in his build, like he's tall and like I take the build part really seriously, you know. Like I was really proud when I met James Jude Courtney, and I mean, we were exactly the same height, you know, and just about the exact same size. I think we both wear a 46 coverall too. Like it was cool to know that, you know, I could double this man, you know, from a little bit of a distance, you know, like we look very similar. So I take pride in having a very accurate kills outfit. And I mean, Raimi did an amazing job on those coveralls. I still haven't seen any, you know, flame work that looked so close to the movie that he put on those, and it looks amazing. But again, I don't have a bunch of beautiful outside pictures in it, and I really need to get on that. But yeah, I knew right away. I was like, oh yeah, I'm dead in the water already, which is too bad. You know, it'd be cool if I got maybe a matchup that was a little bit more of a fair fight. There's a few of those in there, you know, where I think I might have had a better chance. But yeah, his is really, really high end. Like I think he has a legitimate shot of going all the way, so that's cool. And what he told me was really interesting is that I guess he had seen a few of my videos I have done, you know, over the years on the coveralls and, you know, who's rehauling the masks and just what's out there. And I guess he told me he'd seen a few of my videos before and sort of got, you know, some ideas and pointed in the right direction here and there because of them. And I was just like, is that ever cool, you know? Like, get the irony there as I enter the contest and I end up getting beaten by a dude that originally got some pointers off of my, you know, videos. I was like, that's cool. Like that, I felt good about that. I'm not saying it's, you know, oh, it was all me. No. But it's cool to know that, you know, there was an element to that there. That's cool. I'm glad people are seeing some of these videos sometimes. So that is very cool. But anyway, getting back to that contest, yes, I was getting my butt kicked, and I remember the last time I looked at it, I only had 21% of the vote anymore. So it's like, yeesh. Starting to get ugly, right? Like, I think I was as good as 36% at one point, and it was just slowly going down. I never thought anything else about it because it was starting to hit the early evening. And I'm like, okay, well, it's definitely over, but whatever. And I had a bunch of people say after I just posted the video, you know, about it, just say stuff like, oh yeah, I'll give you a vote or whatever, and or I'll go on there and check it out. You know, most of them didn't say, oh, I'll give you a vote, because I didn't really ask for a vote. I just said, you know, check it out and vote for what you like, right? Like I mentioned, when I went to vote, I picked his. I didn't do it on purpose, but I was about to, you know, go, oh, I'm going to pick top, because I was hung up on the one before that. And I'm like, So I finally went, okay. And just as my finger came down, it went flip, and it went, vote for that dude, you know? So Eddie got my vote there. Thought that was pretty funny, but again, I was already dead in the water, like I said, so it's no big deal. But the weird thing that happened after some of my friends saw the video and I guess shared it, because I know my brother shared it, and I know my nephew shared it, and some of my friends shared it. So somewhere along the line, somebody who knows how to spam bot, I guess, went and put a bunch of votes under me that were clearly spam bots. And I guess that had happened somewhat before with a couple of the earlier rounds, yeah, Winter spotted it right away. Like, so he knew, and you know, I knew nothing about it. It was so embarrassing. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, you guys, what are you doing? Like, I appreciate the vote, but don't try to fucking spam bot and cheat. Like, that's horrible, you know? Like, I know a lot of the guys in the contest, and, you know, I have nothing but respect for them. I would never want to win by cheating. That's not winning. I just had me shaking my head. So I had said right when that was happening, I said, you know what, I was losing, and now that this has come up, just bounce me. Like, just take me out of it then, because somebody must have been screwing around. And obviously I didn't know anything about it, but if it was in my favor, I'd be like, well, you're out of there. However, there's nothing I can really do. Like, what if you just did that to any competitor that you wanted out of the competition too, right? I mean, I know it's not as simple as that, but anyway, point is, somebody screwed around with it, so they had to redo it. And I had already accepted defeat, and I'm like, oh yeah, well, you know, you can just take me out. I thought that was the end of it. And then I got another message at like 6 o'clock this morning saying it happened again. Yeah, so I think he mentioned he was going to try to do you know, maybe a different method for voting to avoid this kind of spam crap. So I guess we'll see what the future brings. But that was pretty much the end of the competition for me. So, anyway, that is pretty much it for now. So I'll hopefully get on another new video pretty soon here for you guys, I hope, depending on where I can squeeze everything in, but I'm certainly going to try. So again, as always, thank you for watching, and we'll hopefully see you again for another one real soon. Take care, guys.